Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today I have a pretty amazing discovery to share with you guys regarding Luna Snow and Quicksilver. I was playing around with her and seeing her skill rotation and seeing how she performed on auto against various teams, and I came across a pretty curious highlight. And basically the way that the mechanic works, it makes Luna Snow potentially very good at countering Quicksilver one-on-one. And I know a lot of people gripe about timeline battle because it's so frustrating because there are so many Quicksilvers. Well, what if I told you that just by building up your Luna Snow, you could one-shot every single Quicksilver out there, or most of them the majority of the time? So I wanted to bring some of these highlights to you guys. I wanted to explain what's going on in the highlights, and then I also wanted to offer some kind of cautionary and slash things you should think about before you do a deep dive into this. So I want to take this friend of mine, Big A Daddy 31298. I went ahead and I made sure that he had Quicksilver as his first character on his team. I'm going to change my team around and I'm going to put Luna Snow in the first position. The people around her really don't matter, so I'm just going to put people who can give her some additional ignore dodge. I'm just trying to test her own abilities. Now, of course, in the ideal circumstances, you wouldn't have characters like Ancient One or Ronin. Ronin gives 20% dodge ignore, Ancient One gives 25. Normally, you'd have a Luna Snow at tier 2 with an obelisk like a CTP of energy, or something like ignore dodge, max HP, invincibility, or ignore dodge, crit damage, damage proc, whatever the case may be. But all you need to pay attention is to how the AI handles Quicksilver and how Luna Snow responds with her abilities, and it's pretty interesting to see. I'm totally hands off here. Luna Snow casts her first skill and it does a surprising amount of damage, and she lands her first skill with extreme consistency. Of course, she ends up dying to Quicksilver here, and she stood around waiting for Wolverine to attack. Of course, there's no way that my Ronin or my Ancient One will ever kill this Wolverine. But if I was playing manually, or if my Luna Snow is tier 2, there's a good chance that I would have been able to at least put up a fight, if not also kill Wolverine, and then move on to 2099. And we can continue to repeat this, and I did do so in my live stream to the point where I was confident, and I still am, that when automatically played by the AI, at least hopefully until Netmarble fixes this and lets us play live PvP or something like that, it looks as though Luna Snow's first skill completely interrupts Quicksilver when he's doing the majority of his skills. If he gets into his 5-4 combo specifically, she doesn't do much, or she can't do much against it. So you can see she just stands here against his 4th skill and it auto kills her. So there is always that possibility. No character will counter any other character 100% of the time. There are always kind of extreme circumstances, or ones that are outside of your expectations, and Quicksilver is probably the one that bends those rules the most. So I don't think you'll be able to find a character that's more than 6 or 7 out of 10 to kill Quicksilver. But to know and to see that a character who's tier 1 with very little setup so far, with just a good obelisk, a good CTP, but very little in the way of Uru, no uniform, and not even tier 2 yet, not even 20 gears, to be able to take on a pretty well geared Quicksilver. I'll show you what the Quicksilver is geared like afterwards. He's not fully geared out, but it's a pretty good comparison because neither character is near full strength. But I think at tier 2, even against a maxed out Quicksilver, that she would one-shot him with her first skill. It's kind of the luck of the draw when you start off the match whether Quicksilver does his 4th skill or not. It wasn't happening to me very often during the live stream. I'm actually quite surprised that he opened back-to-back fights with his 4th skill. Usually he opens with his 5th skill or his 2nd skill, and then that gives Luna Snow the opportunity to interrupt him. Additionally, you have to consider the fact that my Luna Snow has a guard break immunity obelisk or effect on her obelisk for the CTP of destruction, so you may have slightly worse results than I do if you don't take that into consideration. You don't have an obelisk that has guard break immunity, and then the ignore dodge is the other big one. So I think having damage proc, guard break immunity, and ignore dodge might be the best overall trifecta for Luna Snow if you want her specifically to counter Quicksilver. Obviously, you're not going to have success 100% of the time, but you'll see, wow, he really does not want to do any other skill. It's pretty much wasting my time at this point, so I'm gonna skip ahead. All right, let's see what happens this time around. And it kind of goes to show you that when he does any other skill, she gets the hit off immediately, and sometimes she just combos him and kills him immediately and kind of without any other effect. And in this case, she's gonna die to Wolverine, sure. She also has the type disadvantage against Wolverine, so she does much less damage. But we'll again skip ahead and see what else we get from Quicksilver. Now, alternatively, you can also try to use Luna Snow against a Quicksilver who's not in a leadership position. Of course, not a lot of teams are going to put Quicksilver specifically in the first spot because his leadership is pretty weak compared to other characters like Jean Grey or 2099. But you can see her value even when she gets another skill off. She just one-shotted Quicksilver there with her 5th skill, and you can try to use her as the 2nd place bait against Quicksilver if you want to counter him. Just to let you know, in my testing, I didn't find that Luna Snow was very good at countering Quicksilver when she wasn't going first against Quicksilver going first. When even though she had all her skills on cooldown, she would prioritize the wrong skills, usually 3 or 2, and then she wouldn't have enough time to do her 1st skill or her 5th skill to kill Quicksilver, and then he would kill her. But I want to now explain what is going on with the character. It has to do with the order of iframes, and I've explained this before, and I've gone into a little bit of detail about it in a previous King of the Hill Shadowland video that I did. Not all iframes are the same, essentially, and even though 2 iframes might appear to be both instant iframes, one of them will have priority over the other, and you really can only discover this when you play against the other character and you both iframe at the same time. One of you will get the iframe off, and the other one will stand there doing nothing. A pretty good example of this would be Thanos' 4th skill. It actually has a very high priority on the list of all skills, and you'll actually be able to interrupt other characters' iframes mid-iframe at times just by mashing Thanos' 4th skill, waiting for a microsecond or like a millisecond of an opening. And I believe that Luna Snow's is similar to Thanos's. Her 1st skill, Ardent Performance. It appears to interrupt Quicksilver as he's going into iframes, as he's coming out of iframes, and he just freezes on the spot, pun intended, and then he takes the full damage. And I'm not able to kill him outright because she's still tier 1, but I suspect at tier 2 with a full stack of Uru that she'll be able to one-shot him pretty consistently, and that would be at least, I would say, 60 to 80% of the time. You can always factor in a weaker Obelisk if you have stronger ISO 8s and stronger Uru, and of course a tier 2 character. Finally, I want to discuss the Quicksilver just to give you guys the transparency of who I'm fighting against, so you don't think I'm fighting against a Quicksilver that has no Obelisk, no ISO 8 set, etc., etc. It's not the best Quicksilver I've ever seen. Of course, he's got a 4 and 6 star Power Vanguard Hulk ISO 8 set. He does have a crit rate dodge 160 damage proc, so it's offensive and defensive. He doesn't have any Uru yet on the character, so that is something that's missing. A tankier Quicksilver with HP and physical attack will obviously be harder to kill, but that is to offset the fact that my Luna Snow is tier 1, missing Uru, and missing a fully maxed out ISO 8 set. But he does have almost 28,000 HP, so his cards are not that bad on top of it. So with that being said, I wanted to bring you guys the clips of Luna Snow, and I wanted to also share with you my initial reaction when I discovered that the character could actually do this, and then some other situations where she was in the 2nd or 3rd slot on the team and I was switching into her against Quicksilver, and how that changed both what the Quicksilver did, the enemy Quicksilver, but also changed what Luna Snow did. And by observing these differences in the characters' reactions and the timing, you can get a better understanding for how powerful they are and what they'll do in modes like Alliance Tournament, Alliance Conquest, and Timeline Battle. If Marvel Future Fight devs and the game makers are not going to give us a better way of playing with our characters, this is the best that we can do by, trial and error, noting down the differences in what the AI does and what the programmed computer does to our characters and with our characters, and then trying our best to play around it. So I wanted to give this information to you guys. Let me know what you think about our new Ice Queen being able to, looks like pretty consistently, one-shot Quicksilver. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care. Steroids! She has them. She just one-shotted Quicksilver. She died too fast. Get his blue suit wearing ass out of here. I agree. Alright, Luna. It follows him. Do you see the tracking on her first skill? Oh my god, she did it again! Luna, please! You won't be the one ending up on your knees, bitch, please! Oh my gosh. She's tier 1, guys. The steroids, they're real. I gave them to Luna and they're working. Why does she auto attack? That's not the game, guys.
I'm back and still drunk on those CVS meds. Remember, never Walgreens. Now I list random.
Try her in the lead slot. Why? Completely pointless. Doesn't affect Quicksilver at all. And the ignore dodge is much needed. If she has any chance of killing him when she actually finally gets an attack in. There's the first kill. And then she gets flattened by fucking Apocalypse. That's hilarious. Completely pounded. Yeah, that's the word I was missing there, Geese. Thank you. There's the first kill. Bye-bye, Quicksilver. Wow. Hiawatha Smith, baby. I say I have the best fans because they're the most handsome, the prettiest, the thickest, the tallest, the shortest, the fattest, the smallest, the smartest, and the smartest. And Hiawatha with the fucking genius suggestion.